Okay, this is section 2.6, problem 69. And our goal for this problem is to select the graph that represents this function right here. Then after that, we can figure out what the cost is for these three values and then answer those two questions. So for letter A, it does say to use a graphing utility to graph out the cost functions. And so I'm going to go ahead and use Desmos.com. And earlier in the semester, I did send a video with different online graphing calculators that you can use. And so please refer back to that video if you want to use a different graphing device. So in Desmos.com, we would click on graphing calculator. And we're going to enter the equation, which is 25,000p. I'm going to go ahead enter 25,000p divided by 100 minus p. And notice that it didn't graph anything, so we want to say c equals 25,000p divided by 100p. And if you notice, it looks like a straight line here. And the reason for that is our x values and our y values for the axes are in 2, -4, -6, and so on. So to change that, you can click on the little tool here. And then for the x-axis, I'm going to start at 0 to 100. And I want to do that because the problem is asking me to focus on 0 to 100. And just by looking at these graphs, it looks like our c values or the y values are going to be pretty big. So I'm going to go ahead and put for the y from 0, I'll make it maybe like make it 20,000. And as you can see now, I have a graph that looks more like the choices that they gave me here. Okay. So we need to try to figure out which graph this is going to be. And let me make sure that I copied the problem right. So we had 25,000 divided by 100 minus p. Okay. So we can make some conclusions here. We know that it's not going to be this one because the c values don't make sense. And then for this one, maybe, but we can look at it in a little bit. And then here, maybe, and then this one, maybe. So to help us make that decision, what you can do is you can zoom into the graph a little bit more, or something that I would encourage you to do is actually figure out some points on the graph, and we can do that with letter B. So the function is c of p is equal to 25,000 p divided by 100 minus p. So let's go ahead and figure out what c of 20 is. First, so we're going to substitute 20 for p and see what we get. So I'm going to pull up the calculator in my computer. So we have 25,000 times 20 divided by 100. Notice I use a parentheses, minus 20 equals to 6,250. So let me write that down. 6,250. So in here, I would type in 6,250. If we figure out C, I'm going to do it up here, of 60, then we get 25,000 times 60 divided by 100 minus 60. So let's use the calculator. 25,000 times 60 divided by 100 minus 60, which is 40. So you can just put 40 if you want to. Gives me 37,550. 37,550 or just 500? 500. Okay, and then if we do the same thing for 80%, that's going to come out to 100,000. Okay, so now what we have here is that when x is 20, or p in this case, we get 6,250. When it's 60, we get 37,500. And when it's 80, we get 100,000. So now let's look at our graphs here. So when it's 20, this is way below 6,250. So that's not going to be our graph. And when this is 20, that's way below 6,250. And here, that might be 6,250 because that's below 50,000. So if we look at 60, then it gets closer to 50,000, 37,000. And then 80 is going to be up here in the 100,000. Okay, so this is going to be your answer. If you want to plot those points, you can. You can just click here, 20, 6250, and you can say label. And then you can put the other one, 80, 100,000, and you can say label. And right now we can't see it because it's all the way up here. So we can zoom out. Okay, so you can see it there. And you can put the third one if you like. 60,000, 60, 37,500, 37,500, and so on. So again, by doing part B, it helped me to eliminate the answers above. So now for C, it says, according to this model, would it be possible to supply bins to 100% of the residents? Okay, so if you look at the question, if we supply to 100% of the people, then you're going to have C of 100 is equal to 25,000 times 100 and 100 minus 100. When this situation, we cannot have 0 in the denominator. It's undefined, so we would say no. Explain. Is it possible to supply the bins to 100% of the residents, but it would be very costly? The function is undefined. So since I get 0 in our denominator, then the function is undefined. Okay, so this is problem 69 in section 2.6.